Hello, Eric Gimbal, ericgimbal.com, and here I'm going to present you today the Canon EOS 2000D, known also as Rebel T7. Let's start. First of all, thank you to photosura.com for lending me the camera, and as always, tell me exactly what I think about the camera. And I can say negative, positive, anything I want. And they always say, Eric, just be honest, and if they don't buy this one, they will buy another one. So that's it. Here's the camera. It's not that big, as you can see. And I'm going to give you the specs and my comments, my opinion. You'll see I will pass some pictures and videos I've made. They are similar to another camera I reviewed at the same time, I tested at the same time, which is the bridge camera, the SX70HS. I published on the 14th of February. I don't know when you see this one, but I'll put a link there. And also I've got several other reviews of this range of Canon. I've got the 1300D, I've put a link somewhere, and the 4000D, which is the one just below this one. And you can check the link if you want to see the review. So the specs: resolution 24.1 million pixels. The ISO goes up to 6400. Video, it does only full HD, doesn't do 4K. Burst rate 3 images per second. It has Wi-Fi and NFC, which is connection to the camera to a mobile phone or app you have in your mobile to configure it. As you can see, the bayonet is metal. The 4000D has a plastic one. This camera has a connector for remote control. Its little sister has not. The 4000 has not that. It has a scene mode, so you can actually, if you don't want to edit your pictures in your computer, there are a few presets, so you can actually put filter directly on there. And you also have a scene mode like sport and macro and things like this. The battery is really good. It lasts for about 500 pictures. I think it's great because when people buy that kind of camera, they normally have low budget and they cannot be spending extra money on second battery straight away. So it's very disappointing when you buy your camera and after 200 pictures the battery lets you down. So 500 pictures is very good, I think. The autofocus has 9 points. I'll come back to the autofocus in a second. It supports RAW file. Not all basic Canon cameras have always supported RAW file. I think the 1000D did not, except in manual, and the rest did not. So this one, yeah, it supports RAW file. So now I get to more info. The ISO. The ISO goes up to 6400, but honestly, I would not go over 800 because it becomes really grainy. So it's not really a camera you should use for low light photography. The autofocus, well, the problem when autofocusing, the camera actually needs as much light as it can. The kit lens is it's the 1855 version 2 stabilized. There is a version 3, but this is version 2 that comes with this, and it's not luminous at all. It opens from 3.5 to 5.6. And you'll see we need to test with a 1.8 lens or something like this, but the autofocus is not very good. Even in daytime, it's in video very often it loses the autofocus, and in pictures very often it's hard to get the focus done. So I think it's not a very good autofocus. Could be a lot better. The lens, it's very basic. So it's better than the one before, of course, but it's vignettes quite a bit. Now I show you a picture of a marina, and as you can see, the corners are a lot darker, so it vignettes quite a bit. But that's normal for basic lens. Very often people ask me, does this camera is okay for vlogging and my YouTube video? And I always answer the same thing. The big problem with video is the sound. Even with professional material, very often I have problem with the sound, and get some peaks and things like this. You would need someone to be checking the sound at the same time, and the problem is this, the sound. So actually you always need an external microphone, because if you touch a camera, you will hear it. If there is wind, you probably will hear it, and the sound is not that noise, even if you're in a closed area, because you get some echo, this, and you need an external microphone. And the problem is most of this camera, and this one included, has no microphone connector. It means you will need an external recorder. So you go for basic camera because you don't have much budget. You have to spend an extra 100 euros, like a Zoom H1 or something like this. Although I think it's a bit cheaper, but about 100 euros minimum, an extra recorder. So you had no money and now you have to spend. So that's a big problem. This camera is no good for vlogging because you don't have a microphone connector. Also the screen, this is a fixed screen. You cannot even move it. And it's not even touchable. So if you want to vlog and recording yourself, how do you see yourself? That's a real problem. So you can put a mirror in the back, but that's a bit crazy, okay? So this camera is no good for that, for video, for vlogging. For video, you need an external recorder. If you're going to put music, that's no problem. But if someone is going to speak and you need to record the sound or the ambient sound, that's going to be a problem. It means to solve it, you will have to spend some more money. What's the problem with a camera like this? Do you think it's worth buying that kind of camera? And first, we must ask, who is that camera for? If you're looking for a camera to get it in your bag and go traveling, and in a month's time you tell me what's the best zoom lens that does everything, like an 18-200. I said no. You're wasting your money, because these lenses, although many people are really happy with them, most of these happy people just have not tried something else, or they accept to have less quality to get something more practical. But if you look for something practical, then forget about these lenses. And forget about reflex camera. Get a bridge. If you want Canon bridge, get the SX70HS, or you can get any other brand, you know. But if you want something practical, don't get a reflex. The idea of buying a reflex camera is to be able to change lenses, so you use the best lens for the work you have to do, the picture you have to do. If you want macro lens, if you want for sport photography, you would, or for tele, you need a tele lens because the subject is very far, you want to make portrait, so then you use the lens you actually need, okay? So getting this camera to have a all-around lens, I think it's a big mistake that many people are making. This camera is for someone who wants to get into photography, has a low budget, and wants to learn, and know that in a year time, 2 years time, 6 months time, depends on each person, will decide to go for a better body, and in the meantime they've been buying new lenses. This one has a metal mount, okay? So is it better than the plastic one? Well, if you're going to change your camera in 6 months or a year time, you're not going to use to destroy the other plastic mount anyway. So the doubt is it worth buying this, or is it better to buy the one just under, which is about almost 100 euros less, or a superior one like the 800D? Buy the cheaper one, and with the money you save, buy a 50mm 1.8 you will use for portraits, or another lens like a lot wider angle, or a tele or whatever, but probably a 50mm 1.8, so you can have shallow depth of field if you want to make some portraits. Regarding buying lenses, this is an APS-C camera, and Canon has two formats for their lenses, the EF and the EFS. The EFS only goes on APS-C cameras. the EF mount can go on any APS-C or full frame camera. It means if you look towards the future, if you know that you will never ever buy a full frame camera, then you can buy EFS lenses. But if you think that one day you'll get a 6D or a 5D or whatever full frame camera they have at that time, you will probably need to think about investing in EF lenses. They are more expensive, but you'll be able to use them on your full frame camera. So this is something at the time of investing you should think, okay? So if you are on a tight budget, buy the cheaper one, the 4000D, known as T100, and get an extra lens or an external flash. Well, yeah, by the way, there is a flash here, okay? It opens automatically. The 4000D doesn't open automatically, you have to open it manually, but that's not a problem, honest. And so buy the cheaper one and some extra lens. If you don't want to spend to change cameras in a year time, then not because it's used, just because you will be bored, because it's very limited. So if you want to get something better, go for the superior one, the 800D or even higher, because I think it's worth it. The difference is very important at the time of using it. So I think it's better to go for the lower quality, but the quality is almost the same, okay? Actually, this is 24 million pixel and the 4000D is 20 million pixel. You don't need this extra 4 million. Even with that kit lens, actually you don't even use this extra resolution. Actually, it's more a problem than an advantage, you know. So as long as you don't have better lens, you will not get any gain with this extra resolution. So don't waste your money on that. So if you can afford it, go for the higher one. If you cannot afford it, go for the cheaper one and buy an extra lens. I know that very often people get offended when I say that this camera is no good or whatever. I don't say this camera is bad. This camera is not bad. I just think it's not bad for the price range and why it's placed in the brand stock of cameras. I think there are too many, okay, but I think it's not bad, but I think it's not worth paying the difference. So some people get offended when I say that. They say, "Ah, it's a lot better. I have it. I'm really happy with it." Obviously, if you have it, I'm happy you have it, and get everything you can out of it. I just speak for people who don't have it yet, and what I say is just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. Sometimes they start insulting me or even getting personal, telling I'm old, I don't know what I speak about. Well, I do think I know what I speak about, but someone may differ in their opinion, okay? If you have it, don't get offended, use the camera, enjoy it. If you don't have it, I think there are better options within Canon make. I don't even send you to Nikon or Sony or whatever. But I think Canon and Nikon are just a bit abusing with their clients, getting too many camera ranges, and actually they overlap each other, and it does not justify the price difference. I mean, it's like, well, we have a small gap here in the market. We're going to sell something for an extra 100 or take it off. Very often you see the camera, you take the camera and says, okay, we need to make it cheaper. What do we do? Well, instead of the version 3 of the lens, put the version 2. Okay, what else? Oh, we have a great screen. No way. You cannot put that screen on there. We're gonna put a cheaper one and no touchable, and you can't even flip it. Okay, wow, okay. And then they say, oh, we have a sensor. We have the 24 million, is great. Yeah. But on the other one, we're going to put the 20 million, so we drop the price a bit. And actually, I think this camera is really too short. That's just a transition camera. You start with that, and soon you change. So if you are on a low budget and want to get into the reflex world, or I would say not reflex, the possibility to change lenses, then it's a good start. But it's a start that will be stopped quick. You will need something better because it's too limited. So, well, this is my opinion about this camera, and don't get offended. I think That's it. Or you get the one on top or two on top, or you get the cheaper one. Quality, the build is nice, it's okay, but no, I would not buy this camera, honestly. For myself now, I would buy the lower one or the higher one. Exposure is okay. It exposes properly in manual, or it indicates properly, or if you go automatic, it's okay. Colors are nice, saturated. This. I don't think you will get disappointed if you have it. Probably the autofocus in some situation, but I think it's too limited, and is not worth paying the extra difference between the 4000 and this one. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you, Photosura, for lending me the camera and risking to hear me tell my opinion. Thank you to you for watching the video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ericshibo. There is a small subscribe button and a bell. If you touch the bell, then you'll get notified when I upload a new video. And my website, ericshibo.com. If you have any question, please leave a comment or send me an email to info@ericshibo.com. My social network are written below in the comment. Thank you very much. Bye.